So your book, Tech Agnostic, um, in it, you describe technology use as a ritual that offers both relief and entrapment. And this is interesting to me, and it does relate to something that you talked about earlier in the episode, where you talked about in 2018, social media taking off and that kind of providing community. What came to mind for me is not so much that that social media experience is community like it's purported to be, but it is more like entrapment.
Mm,
It's product designers at big tech companies have figured out ways to make these tools, or what could be tools, as addictive as possible. So you
yeah.
see as many ads as possible typically. So you describe technology as a ritual that offers both relief and entrapment. How so? Given this dual nature, how should individuals and societies cultivate awareness and set boundaries to prevent tech from overwhelming our mental and emotional health? So, how can we get the benefits
Yeah.
of tech without these negative side effects like entrapment?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, again, I'll come back to my central argument in order to answer this. The central argument is that technology has become the world's most powerful religion, and it desperately needs a reformation. And so one of the, so I spend the first third of the book talking about people's beliefs. That there's a kind of theology and doctrine to the tech religion as there are in traditional religions. But then I say in the middle of the book um, that we also really need to look at practices, because a religion is not a religion if all it has is beliefs. Religions have practices. That's how they're shaped. That's how they take form and expression. And so therefore, with the idea of ritual, it's important to note that rituals are sort of two-sided coins. That there is a way in which, as Durkheim, the father of the sociology of religion, would have reminded us, um, r- ritual brings people together in a sense of community. It bonds them to each other, and it bonds them to a shared sense of meaning and purpose. And that's a very important part of what ritual is. Um, but it can do so in positive and negative ways, constructive and unconstructive ways. Like, if you see people coming together in rituals to celebrate important times of the year or important times of life, that's good by and large. My mom would often say to me as a kid, we're not really big believers in all these holidays, but think about it. If we didn't believe in the holidays at all, then we probably wouldn't get together and see our extended family nearly as often as we do, and we wouldn't feel a sense of specialness when we did. And so that's a positive example of ritual. But in, for example, Orthodox Judaism, um, there is a set of prayers that men are meant to say every morning as they get out of bed, before they do just about anything else. And that set of prayers involves thanking God for not making them a woman. Or another thing that people don't realize about, for example, Orthodox Jewish prayer, is that the central prayer that people are making to God, that Orthodox Jews do 3 times every single day and 4 times on the Sabbath, it's asking for a resurrection of the dead. It's really, at least if we take it for the words at their face value, it is asking God to resurrect the dead. It's not like some liberal hippy dippy concept. It's like, no, those people are dead. They're buried. They're in the ground. Raise them up, take them to heaven, etc. Or praying for people to be sent to hell. There's stuff like that too. And so the point is that rituals can be great for people. They can be not so great. People can do rituals good and healthy numbers of times, or they can overdo it. And that is very much true in what I would call the tech religion. I mean, I have not cast my smartphone into the sea yet. But I mean, a lot of this book was spent reflecting on the fact that that is what we do. We take this stained glass black mirror, and we genuflect before it in a prayerful posture,
Mm.
bowing to its altar, sometimes 200 times a day. When I have a bad day, I mean, I'm on this thing all the time, right? And it's a mess. It's a real mess.
Well said. I see the iconography there with the phone.
Mm.
I guess I am worshiping it.
I mean, you're not alone. You're not alone.